in another absolutely riveting UFC Apex Fight Night, stacked from bottom to top with tremendous names throughout. There was actually a decent knockout in the main event. Now I know, so we're here 3-11 in the second round, and you see Perez step off to an angle, and he's gonna throw his jab, and then his hook, and then his right hand. Now, his jab and his hook aren't really meant to land. He's kind of throwing them to cover distance. And hooking after your jab, like same punch, jab, lead hook, is a really nice setup that doesn't get used too often. Even like the double jab in MMA, this is something that Jack Slack talks endlessly about. And if you know me, you know that I love me some Jack Slack. So 2 lead hand shots is really nice. So he goes jab, lead hook into the right hand, but Nicolau's backing out of range pretty heavily. He's gonna feint the jab there, kind of just step in feint. And then he's going to throw the jab. Well, feint the jab again, actually, my bad. He feints the jab once again, steps out, and this time he really sells committing with the jab. Like, watch his hand drop really low, and he's stepping in and really like going in for the jab. He makes it very, very obvious that he's throwing the jab. I do not know if this is intentional, but what it does is it draws out this slip inside right hand reaction that Nicolau has. And he did this a few times during the fight, where he's slipping inside the jab and throwing the right hand. So Perez sees this coming, the jab, again, not meant to land. He's kind of just throwing it out there, but he sees the counter. Before even throwing his jab, he knows the counter's coming. He sees it, ducks under the right hand, and he comes over the top, in between, like straight down the line to land his own right hand, like inside of the guard of Nicolau, and it lands clean on the chin. And he tries to follow up with a left hook, which narrowly misses as Nicolau stumbles back. But this is just beautiful. It's jabbing to get the counter that you want to see, ducking under the counter and countering the counter perfectly, being first and third. Very beautiful from Perez. Almost landed the left hook. And now he's tracking him down. He's not rushing. He pumps out the double jab. Again, not meant to land, just gauging distance, seeing the reactions of Nicolau. And Nicolau's trying to circle out to his left, but Perez is not going to follow him. He's going to cut the cage. This is something that I talk about a lot. He's cutting off the cage by following him, not literally, but following his lateral movement. So if Nicolau is moving laterally to his left, Perez is going to move laterally to his right, cutting the octagon space by a lot in an already small UFC Apex octagon. So he's cutting the cage beautifully. He's still kind of measuring distance. Nicolau's going to try to bounce back, and Perez, again, just follows him. If Nicolau's going to move laterally to his right, then Perez is going to start to move laterally. I cannot speak. Laterally to his left. I'm trying to speak too fast. That's what's going on. Perez still measuring, following him, following his lateral movement, cutting the cage off. Still being patient, not rushing it after hurting him. And now you see Perez throw the jab, cutting a huge angle off to his own left, giving Nicolau only one exit, which is into the power right hand. Nicolau takes the exit. Perez was thinking about going to the body, it seemed, but was kind of out of range. But now Perez is going to step into southpaw and cut the cage off. Look at him slide laterally in southpaw, doubling up on that right hand, and that just closes Nicolau in. The cage cutting from Perez here is really, really nice. And what it leads into is he doubles up on that right hand to close him off. Now Nicolau has to settle. His back hits the cage. He's got this kind of Philly shell, but the Philly shell drops as he is going to look to counter with his right hand. But Perez is following this little left hook with a straight right hand. That's more of a straight, because Perez throws his straights kind of elbow up, which is not ideal. But they kind of look like hooks. Like if you throw your straight and your hook both having the elbow up, then it can kind of be disguised in each other. But that is just a tight right hand right as Nicolau is dropping his guard and looking to counter. Like he's like, oh, and then he gets hit. Chin music. Boom. Really, really nice shot from Perez, and this immediately puts Nicolau out. And that was just a beautiful performance from Perez when it came to cutting the cage, being first and third, drawing out a counter and then countering the counter. And then, yeah, like I said, not being patient when he had his opponent hurt, just kind of feeling it out, not rushing things, getting like clinched, crowding his punches. He's just testing with the jab and cutting the cage off, making the octagon feel really small. And then when he gives him that exit by circling out to his left and throwing the right hand, Nicolau takes it, but then he's doubling up with that right hand to close it all off again, and that sets up the knockout shot. Really, really nice from Perez on a UFC Apex card that I was not going to watch. But this is a really nice performance from Perez. He had a good performance against Muhammad Mokaev, but he had been struggling since even his guillotine loss to Davison Figueiredo. Like, he lost to Pantoja. Who else did he lose to? I feel like he lost a couple other times, or he just kept getting fights canceled. But this was a really good performance from him. Nice knockout win. And yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching.